Good morning, everyone. I'm Lavender. I'm so excited to start this podcast. Today, I'm gladly invite Dan, my new friend. Yeah, I can it's a super excitement that I can invite Dan and we have this podcast. Yeah, and
Really,
Dan, we
really good to be
met
with you.
last Saturday, right? We have watched the volleyball with my friends Amber, and then I met Dan. It's so excited to meet you, Dan.
It's really good to be with you. I'm really happy to see you. It was great to meet you the other week. You have great energy, and when you told me you're doing a podcast, I'm really happy to come onto it.
Oh yeah, it's my first time to invite the new friend I met for the first space.
It's good. This is how you keep building. I'm going to come back. You'll have a billion followers at some time. Sometime in the future, you'll be very famous, and be lucky enough to be one of the early ones.
I feel really impressed by your energy, when we first meet and then you come from the stadium and then give up the ticket. I think, oh, I'm super excited. And
It's good. Did you enjoy
also, yes, it's a great journey and I enjoy the volleyball. And especially when we met at in the dinner time and you showed up and I was deeply impressed by your energetic, warm up and chill with each other. Wow, it's so
it?
impressed. Yeah.
Well, same. I felt the same way about you guys. Sadly, that was a very short time. I had a very short window while I was still working, but it was really good to meet you. And you can feel already how good people are very quickly, right?
Yeah.
Before people say something, you can feel their energy, and I felt the same way with the three of you. I was very lucky. A short time, but very a very lovely time at that.
Yeah, for sure. I guess just as we share that when we have time we will make it a visit to Shanghai.
Yeah, right. We're going to plan that, right? So really, this podcast is just about planning our next trip so we can hang out more.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
you have very dynamic friends. They're wonderful. You can really feel their hearts. So they're and that's all because I was learning Chinese through Amber. Thank you. I have to thank her for introducing us. Uh,
Oh, that's cool.
It's a,
So can you say some Chinese greetings?
oh, don't put me on the spot. So, 早上好，你好吗？
Oh, good, good.
你开心吗？So, but my tone is not very good. As I said, my Chinese teacher is very patient with me. So I don't learn very easily, but she's extremely patient and kind. So, but I'm still getting a little better. 好一点，每天我试一下好一点。So, but it's very difficult. Some people are born to do language, but sadly, that's not me. I have other skills, but language is not one of them. But I still try, so I still get in there.
讲得非常好.
Yeah, yeah,
So
okay.
how long did you started with Amber?
It's been many years actually. I think about
Many.
4 years. So I've been studying with her for around 4 years. I have breaks, where because work is so intense. So
Mm.
I'm very busy with work, so it makes it hard to get lessons in. And we're always traveling. But I've been with her for like um 4 years. I think around this. I try to do a lesson once every sort of week. Just 30 minutes. That's enough for my brain, and then I re-listen to it again. I must listen to it after I do that lesson at least sort of 4 or 5 times. I try to 4 or 5 times, but yeah, I know some people, as I said, some people are very good at language. It's just not my skill set. I have other skill sets, but this one is, and I've been
That
in China for a long time, so I should be. I'm actually quite embarrassed a lot of the time when people say, "How long have I been here?" and "How long have I been doing lessons?" And it's certainly not Amber's fault. She's an amazing teacher, actually. She has a student who just anyway.
wow. That's okay. I think the different.
Wide away. 不忘了，不记得，不记得。
Oh, yeah. I think different people have their pace in learning the language. For many Chinese people, they will start learning English from their school. Yeah. So I think that
English is
maybe
amazing.
most is it depends on how or how often we use the language.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but I mean, your English is amazing, and all your friends speak perfect English. You know, you and
Thank
Jessica and Amber were just you almost speak better English than me. Come on,
No.
this is So it's very impressive, very impressive. So very little accent. And what have you been? How long have you been doing the podcast for?
And actually, it's from this year. This is the number 7 episode.
Lucky number 7. Good to hear. Good to hear. I'm
Oh, yeah.
really excited.
You know,
This is such a good such a good medium that is really becoming more and more popular. I don't know how
mm,
many there is in China, but in Australia and America, it is the most dominant form of communication now.
ooh.
The most common.
I start to like have this inspiration a few years ago. At that time, like one of my friends, he had this podcast idea, and I participated in his podcast, like listening to her one, and then I got my idea, but I didn't take action until this year. So I started like the first episode with him, David, and in around I think in June or in maybe in September. And then I interviewed, like I chat with Amber, Jessica, and some of my friends. I think it's a really uh, wonderful place that we can have a focused time to share our ideas and also the recent status.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like I said, I think and well done for just taking action. So many times people have an idea and they say there's the sayers and the doers, right? The people who, I should, I want to, and you just did. Congratulations. That shows it shows a lot of courage and it's inspiring. I think that's really cool that you just took action and moved. Very cool.
Thank you, thank you.
Mm.
And I also noticed that you also like joined in some podcast. I listened to your the tool you shared with me, and also I noticed you recently last week or this week just record a new one. Right, I hadn't had a chance to listen to the new episode.
Yes. I've been lucky to have a few, have a few podcasts myself. But I don't get you do all the hard work. And for me, I just come as a nice, easy guest. So, it's easy enough for me to talk. But the people who are actually making the podcast and doing it regularly and having the commitment and the consistency, I think that's very
Ooh.
admirable. I think that is very cool. But yes, I've been one was a running one for runners, which is a running coach. Another one is usually is for sports,
Mm.
elite sports. He usually interviews just elite sports. And then the last one I just had a few weeks ago, and that came out. You're right, just yesterday, the day before, and that was a good friend of ours who's doing a podcast in Australia. He
Mm.
does lots of politics and lots of different fields. And do you have a theory, a theme on yours, like on your podcast? Is there a certain theme, or you're like Joe Rogan and interview people from everywhere?
No, I think I like a more casual chat. I prefer to talk on the like the relationship or self development or some inspiring moments. You know why? Do I name this podcast in quality now? I think like the quality time it's really has a big meaning in our life so that we can be more clear about our thoughts and also we enjoy the quality moments in our life. So I think that we can talk about the like inspiring moments and also some like career choices. Sometimes I will just randomly or based on the guest and also what I know about him and then to ask my question or just some curious questions.
Very cool. Exactly. I mean, I love all the mindset side of things, as you sort of say, like the growth mindset and the psychology. I think this is, you might have heard me say, this is the quality of your life is made up of the quality of your mindset, and so if you don't focus on the growth of this and the and how you're thinking, the biases you have and the way you perceive life, I think this is the most important thing. If you don't get this right, um, you can either have a terrible life and a good life. It's
Yeah.
completely so. I love that you have this as a theme. I think that's one of the most important things. One of the biggest gifts you can give people is perspective, and it allows you to have a great life.
Yeah, thank you for your recognition. When I'm thinking about the topic to talk with you, I am like quite curious, like on your career right position, because you are a physical therapist for the uh game players, right? And then you also play I think you play an important role in like comfort them or chat with them to release their uh, stress. So can you share a bit about your job?
Yeah, look, I suppose I'm qualified as a sports physiotherapist, so you're right. You know, my specialisation is definitely injury recovery. But I also studied did an exercise science degree, so I can do a lot of the strength coach, right? So I'm educated um, and do the strength coaching as well. Uh, well, I was going to try to say it in Chinese anyway. Jiaolian, Xunlian, right? So
教练训练 yeah.
Celia. So uh, so I do those two things, and of course I have a. I think that when you're dealing with elite sports people, the biggest thing is actually the psychology. You know, so I think this is the most paramount thing. Of course, I have the education to be able to make sure that I do the strength training for them and get their bodies correct, and also fix their injuries.
Mm,
But I think the big part, as you sort of say, to support people as they're going through stress, they have a very hard time on, as we all do in parts of life. So I see my job as assisting and being the support for this. You know, either bringing the energy or helping them calm down. I think this is and caring for them. You know, they have a lot of pressure, and if I can be support with this, and I'm lucky enough to have a lot of education and a, a, a curiosity about psychology. So you know, this has always helped me. I've always learned that. So I think this is the support that I give. You know, might be different if you ask the girls. Maybe they say something different. But no, that's my job. I support in those ways.
oh, that's really cool. So I'm curious that what's your favorite or method to relax yourself or help others relax when they feel stressful?
I think it depends on the person, you know. So I think you've got lots of tools to be able to use. There's many tools that we have, but people have to. The individual has to be. It's important that you go along with what somebody wants to do. You know, there's two things. There's the opportunity of what you can use, what tool you want, but also what someone is willing or wants to do. So I think you have to listen more than you talk about what they're prepared to do. You know, but obviously you have meditation, you have talking, you have going for a coffee, you have going for a walk, you have doing exercise, you have sleep. You know,
Mm,
some people like to read a book. So if you're talking about how to make somebody relax, you know, of course, I guess my bias would be I think meditation can work really well, but you have to have even the right sort of meditation. You know, some people like um, different sorts or yoga. So it really,
mm.
there's lots of different ways that you can help. They're all good tools, but it's a matter of finding which one suits which person, being individual with it.
Oh, that
Do
sounds
you use any of them?
interesting. For me, I think that I would use like sometimes I listen to music when I'm feel stressful. Yeah, I like the popular music and also the soft music. That I love Taylor very much, and then I would listen to her songs. And also there are a YouTuber they share their piano
Wow.
version of Taylor's song. So I usually play that uh song while I'm working. So I think that it helped me calm down.
Beautiful. Yeah, and honestly, you can use many things. I think I like it as being from my background, I like it when people can come back to the present moment. So I think the big key of all of those things, I mean, sometimes it can just be relaxing and not thinking, but also just coming into feeling your body, you know, and being present. Because what do they say? You know, if you've heard before, if you're anxious, your brain is thinking in the future. If you're
Mm,
depressed, you're thinking in the past. You know, so a lot of it can be if you're just here and now and you become more present. Um, this can help. You know, the brain not be thinking everywhere. Okay, what am I worried about tomorrow? And or you, oh, what did I do wrong in this game, or what happened there? But if you just come back to being present, and sometimes music does that, or sometimes going for a run. But if you come back to just being in the now, I think this
Mm.
is really powerful in a way to be able to overcome a lot of the stress or anxiety or depression. So I think this is a key.
Wow, I really love this like idea of being present, for some people or sometimes I just can't do that, worrying the future. What if I can't catch up with that progress, or what if I ruin that presentation? Each time I feel pressured, and when I'm preparing for a speech, I am a Toastmasters member, and once a month I will sign me up as a prepared speaker, and then I will need to write the script and deliver that speech. And every week, like before the before the speech day, I will get nervous and oh, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to write about. It's just like this
Oh,
kind of worrying.
I think there's two things there, right? Like one is it's a human condition, so every you have to understand we all have this same problem, right? So number one, not to demonize ourselves, and then also too, there's something about having that pressure or feeling anxious about it means it's important. And I think we all should be doing something that you feel important for. So it's not
Mm,
the absence of that anxiety. It's actually a good thing. But then to be able to come back and be like, yeah, well, I'm anxious because I want to do well. It's important to me. It means you're pushing yourself, and that's
mm,
always a good thing. But then to be able to control the anxiety and come back to, okay, what can I do now? This is, and bring the fear back into sort of coming into now. I think there's good, but you're not alone. We all have that, including me. If I have an injury that isn't getting better quick, and I'm like, oh gee, or we have some important thing coming up. We all have it. I think that's the human condition. The more we practice it, and I like talking about it because it helps me. The more we talk about it, the more we remind ourselves of like, yeah, okay, get back to this. Anytime I start to worry, what can I do right now? And that's all I can worry about. Don't no need to worry. I just need to come back to what am I doing in this moment? I'm safe. Everything is nothing to be scared of here. Now, what action can I take? But it's difficult. We all have the same, the same thing, but it's a matter of repeating that repetition. No different than going to the gym. Just repetition again, 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 so that we can not be ah, you know. And so, yeah. But it's cool. You're obviously doing something important, and I think that's even better when you don't want to do something that you're never fearful of or never have a little bit of that means you're not stretching enough. You're not
oh,
pushing yourself.
yeah. I really love this idea, and then yes, it's an important thing that make us like feel a bit pressure, and then we have more motivation to do it well, and then just focus on the thing that we can do right now. Oh, that's really cool.
I love that. I mean, I knew that I really loved you guys anyway when I met you, but just when I hear those sort of things, it's like, yeah, I always enjoy getting around people pushing themselves, which is probably the reason I'm in this industry. People who do things that are uncomfortable, because we all sort of
Mm,
know that when you do things that are uncomfortable, that's where good stuff happens. When you're like, oh, I'm not sure about this. Can I do a podcast? I'm not really sure, but I'm going to do it. These are the
yeah,
people doing cool stuff. You know,
that's cool. Just before I entered the meeting and you entered the meeting room, I feel a bit nervous as well.
me too. Me too. I saw you. I'm like, ooh, no,
Good job. Yeah.
it's good.
So, I think that then may I ask you that how do you like because you always like have this kind of high energy, and also do you have some time that you feel down, and how do you like um re- release that kind of low emotion?
Yeah, I think it's important to hear actually because a lot of people see me and always see that I'm happy, which I'm lucky. Mostly I am. So I think there's part of this that's genetic. That part of it's genetic, and then part of it's also the fact that I work on it. I know that I must keep positive things in my in my environment, so
Mm.
like, for example, I make sure that, my social media isn't always coming up with all the negative things. I get rid of that, and I make sure that I follow the things that are bringing me up.
Oh.
So it does happen, for sure. Everybody does. I'm completely normal, even though that I'm often happy. It's important that people realize I have down days too, like everybody. And what do I do is there'll be times where I have a little complaint, but I'm lucky enough because I sort of know the science of how to rebalance myself. I know, okay, have I not slept well? Have I drank? Have I had too many beers and slept? So I know these things that if your physical body's out of performance, is it
Mm.
have I not slept and am I not eating well or drank too much? These things will always influence, and I'll have to just get back on being a better routine with those. Or is there something else that's going on in an emotional part? Am I upset about something, or am I anxious about something? And those things I come back to again, thinking how much control can I have over it? Back to that present moment again of thinking
Mm.
how much control do I really have about these things that I'm worried about? And usually it's not that much. So, you know, they say you shouldn't worry about anything you can't control. So it's like,
Mm.
well, if this is upsetting me or I'm having a down day, I just come back to a bit of stoicism, I guess, is sort of some of the theory of just letting that go or realizing that's not mine to hold, So, um, or I don't know, yeah, or speak to friends, always chatting. That was having a down day. You call your friend, blah 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 blah. Okay, that's gone. Let's move on. That's all. Okay, I don't want that to ruin my day. So, um, yeah, I think we all have the technique. Going for a run usually works for me too, changing the endorphins. So again, I think I'm lucky because I enjoy studying these things. So I know what they can do. I know that if I'm having a down day, I'll go and have an ice bath or go for a run because you're changing endorphins or speak to somebody that you love or care about. And, coming back to the mindset thing. So I use these as well. I use all the tools the same way that we all probably inherently know. I'm just lucky enough that I've studied that. I'm like, okay, go for a run, Dan, or speak to a friend, or realize that you can't change whatever's happening there, and hopefully get over it quicker. It doesn't mean I'm
Mm.
not sad. I just hopefully get over it quickly. So that's the
Oh.
plan.
Yeah, 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 that's true. I really inspired by your sharing just now. It's just like that for I like your idea that put yourself in a positive environment, just like follow the positive beat. That's one thing I am doing. When I'm scrolling the social media, sometimes, especially like for the WeChat moments, and if there are some advertisement or some negative sharing, I will block them.
You've got to get this out of your life. It's so funny because I mean, even with this, social media, I even have to because it's so addictive. You've got all these algorithms trying to push them on you. You have to be aware of it. I even try to block myself from looking at it for certain periods. I have to put a blocking app to even control myself. Just like stop it because I get off and I realize I don't feel better. And as you say, I change the people who I'm following. To make sure that I'm having more positive people in my life because you might have heard me talk about it before, but you realize the brain is actually evolutionary designed to be more negative. So if you're not, it's more powerful actually because we've always evolutionary been looking for threats. So if we see something negative,
Mm.
the emotion is 3 to 5 times more powerful, and you look for it more. So you look for it more, it's more powerful, and it's usually more abundant in the news. So you have to offset this, So it's no wonder most people are upset or depressed and sad because it's more powerful, it's more abundant, our brain looks for it more. So everybody can be like, oh, I'm worried or upset if you don't offset this, if you don't realize that you have to control how much you're seeing and then control how important that threat is, and change the algorithm of what you're getting and how you're thinking. Otherwise, there's no wonder people are sitting in a corner just, it's normal. So,
Yeah.
um,
Oh, that's really good and a good practice that still pay attention to what we see or what we hear.
Yeah. You know, you have those friends, right? Like we all have those friends around that every time you leave them, we call them energy drainers, right? Where you leave them and you just, oh, gee, I don't feel so good. You know, you have to, you can't be around those people too much. You know, you find that those people who are just see life always, of course, you want to help them. And if there's times where you can help people and lift them up, I love to do that too. But if you find you're around those energy suckers the whole time, or what we call energy suckers, who are just see the world in the most negative light, I think
Mm,
you can try to help them, but if they're robbing you all the time of energy, you have to be careful of getting your own energy right first. Then you can give. But, you know, we've all had those friends, right? And just, no, it's terrible. Everything's terrible. Life's terrible. And it's like, stop it. Stop it. You're lucky to be breathing, you know? So
mm,
having that
yeah.
perspective.
Wow, that's true. You know that word I usually see this to describe this kind of person like the energy vampire. Do you heard this word?
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good call. Energy vampire. Suckers. Energy suckers. Yeah, it's,
That's cool.
makes
Oh,
sense.
I Oh, that's cool.
Mm.
So you have this kind of friends. I also like have this kind of friends. Sometimes I will feel like a bit guilty or what can I do more to help them? But some and maybe for right now I'm more focused on myself. And if I cannot help her, like or if I feel that I'm getting like the low energy by her, I was like, okay, I just let it go. I can't help
Yeah,
you anymore.
you can try. Of course, it's nice to give, right? Like I think one of the best things in life is when you find that you can help people. I think there's a lot of meaning in that, you know. But you also have to be careful of your own energy first. If you're just like, oh, okay, this person's too much. My own energy first. If I've got extra, great. Now I can give. But gee, when you're around those people all the time, they make you start to see the world as negative as they do, and you can't do that. You know, that's not that's not true. You know, so you have to protect yourself first, and then you can give to as much as you can. But I think we all know those people. Maybe somebody's saying that about me. Dan's the energy sucker. Maybe they're, oh, Dan, that energy vampire. So, whew, there's probably someone on another podcast saying, yeah, that Dan guy.
Yeah,
So,
I think yeah for some we have like have our energy and sometimes we might also have in the low energy. I think that we can share with our friends like close friends just pay attention. Like sometimes if I am too down, I will like calm down or stay uh by myself to let my energy come back a little bit and then just share with my friends. Otherwise, I think am I too negative?
that's, sounds right because I still think you need a place to be able to share, right? Like we all need a place and a safe space to just be able to say, man, life sucks right now. You know, you need somewhere to, we say empty your cup, right? Somewhere to be able to just say, oh, gee, it's tough. But then there's a balance to it where you're like, okay, I've got that out. You know, I need to just release this and just talk about have a little complaint. But
Mm,
if you find you're doing that all the time, you know, it's there's a window of it. You know, there is a balance where you're like, I have the right friends. You know, I pick the people that
mm,
I use this for, where I
mm,
want to just sort of say, man, geez, that sucks. You know, we're traveling a lot. You know, we don't have many days off. We don't have any days off. You know, we don't have it. So I get to say this, but then I'm like, but after, a little time, if I'm going on too long, my good friends will, okay, that's enough, man. You've said it. Now realize what a great job you have and how lucky you are and all these other things and offset. So I don't know where that balance is, but I know that if you take it too long, your friends should say, okay, yeah, I get it. I've heard you. That does suck, but also that's enough. That's enough.
mm.
You know.
Yeah, yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah.
you make it too big. Yeah, as I said, you have to have a time to be able to just be like, But do you use Amber and the girls for that? You can always call me. You want to have a whinge? We've just sort of said those are the energy suckers, but I think it's good. There's framing around it, and you have to have a good place where you just want to say, man, that's also good. That's also fine. It's just how long it goes for, and how much if you're doing that every day, and
Mm.
still that's like now you're affecting your own life, man. Stop it. Put it back in perspective. So I think.
Yeah, I appreciate that. When I And next time when I feel sad, maybe I contact you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, good. 讲得很好. Yeah, I think that it's really important to have some friend that you can talk to about this sad thing or bad moments. And but we also need to like nurture this friendship. Like we can also share the happy moment as well. You know, for my friend circle, like me, Jessica, and Amber, we formed this small groups of our free for around 2 or 3 years ago. And at that time, we just like to, I initiate this invitation that we form this kind of vision board girls because I heard idea of take the vision board. So I invite them to do this vision board together. So we
you
gathered,
made a vision board.
yeah, we gather like at in the beginning of each year to see what's our plan for this year and also overview the last year's performance. So gradually, I think that our friendship get stronger and stronger, and now we share much more of our like at many areas in our life, like the relationship and some gossip moments.
I love this. I mean, this is the good part of life, right? So, number one, how cool is that you've got people who are willing to write a vision board and set some goals? And did you make pictures of it, or just you write it
Um,
down, or you make pictures of a vision board? Or I'm curious how you did it. You gonna show me? You've
actually,
got it there.
at the next time you want to join.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's, I mean, this is just all the visualization side of things, right? It's really important. You know, we can do this often with athletes too. You know, you imagine what point you're going to score, and you sitting on the, and it has an amazing effect. I think they've shown that again and again. These things are, you have to feel it first. You know, be the person that you want to be that's created those things. You know, so that you embody that. You know, being a podcaster who's done 1,000 podcasts and winning awards, you can see that, and then you can go first, right?
Yeah.
Have you got a book?
Um, for our form, in the beginning, we will just write it on a black um white paper, like it's divided into nine small circles, and then we will write about. As you can see here. Oh, it's a sorry, it's blurred. I will share with you later.
Put it into a small thing so you carry it around.
Actually, I print it out, so it's a small card, like a poster card. Yeah,
Oh,
and yeah, like it's divided from like the first is the career, and then like the learn and grow section, and then the uh fun and recreation section. And I think that divide into different section, and then we will like review each section, and then we will have also how what's the highlights of last year, and then what's our goal for next year. So just like in the middle of this year 2024, we gathered for like a midterm review. Yeah, and then we need make a new one.
I love this. I love it. You know, it's so powerful, right? So that's I think it's really cool. Number one, it makes you reflect on what you really want, right? A lot of people just go through life and they don't even know what they want, so they just float. You know, you're just going in whichever direction the wind takes you. But if you can sit down and be like, what do I want? You know, and then visualize it, write it down, and have people who are accountable, because you
Mm,
have people who you're talking about with. Number one
yeah,
is
yeah.
you have them make you accountable, and you get to share the journey together. I mean, that's what a good life's made of. I think you're setting up a wonderful life with that. I think that's really, really cool that you've got friends who are going to join you with it too. You know,
Yeah,
that's
I
really
think
cool.
like the friendship and the person that can understand each other and have the same goal, same kind of goals that we can grow up together and graduate. I think this is really like powerful that we can. Sometimes I met like the difficulties and I feel sad, and then I will share with them, and then they will encourage me from like different angles. Wow, I feel that then I'm get my energy back.
It's not what a good life is. Well, I mean, what is? You know, I think that is. You've just described a really lovely life. a meaningful one, right? It's something that you're heading towards. You know, you have some goals that are of value to you that you've sat down and thought about. You have people to connect and share with on the journey, and build a relationship at the same time. It's like, oh, man, that sounds like a pretty bloody good life, you know, and something that doesn't just come without thought and without effort. You know, that's why I admire people doing that, because you've had to be analytical and put the effort into, you know, to join a group and then to write those things, take the time to do that and to build the relationships. You know, that's a cool part. That's just a great life right there. You know, and then still taking action and doing it. You know, I think that is and probably that's why I like sports. You know, it has a very clear direction and a goal, and I'm doing it with people who are highly motivated for one thing.
Mm,
You know, you guys have got something good because in some ways it's distributed so you can see different avenues. You know, one person's trying this, one person's trying this. You know, it's a little bit more it's more dynamic and maybe a little bit more interested in some ways. You know, mine's very highly focused in the one area. We're all doing this, you know, but it's always lovely to be like, wow, how's Amber going teaching all these people Chinese, and how's your podcast going, and you know, how's Jessica going with her gym? You know, she's killing it. You know, I see
yeah,
her.
yeah,
She's
yeah,
it's really cool. It's cool. You know, great
yeah.
friendship, and really cool that you did you meet each other. This was a group that was just designed to do this. It was a group that was just setting goals and writing a vision board.
We have this WeChat group, and we might like meet each other for, it depends. At least I think at least twice a year. It just like maybe in it till the end of the year we will meet together. Or sometimes because Jessica live in Shenzhen, we live in different cities, so it just uh different. For the 2 years ago, we might meet more frequently because we are in the same city. And but for the year right now, we might just pick up the, maybe we have set up for the same activity so that we can meet together just like this time.
Volleyball could be the excuse.
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good. And the next time is in Shanghai, right? Come on.
Mm.
See, got to
Yeah.
get around good people. You know, just got to keep that happening. You know, if that means coming to Shanghai, all right, book your ticket. It's not that far. So,
I'm eager to go to it. I used to visit Shanghai like in around 2 to 3 years ago, and I love like driving, not driving, riding the bicycle there.
sure, right? Gotcha. Right. It's it is cool for that. In fact, that's what I found about Shenzhen was too busy for me. It was just you couldn't. It's like, oh, gee, I feel. Whereas Shanghai, it's a great place for riding. Even I'm in Beijing at the moment, and I feel like this. It's not as convenient either. Shanghai is really it's a great city. It's sort of is spread out enough that you can get a bike everywhere. And I feel like there's enough room to move. When I went to Shenzhen, as much as it's a great city, I really liked it. It felt very so many people everywhere. Felt a
Fast
little.
paced.
Maybe it was the area that I was in, but it was difficult to go for a run. You know, it put me a little bit on edge. It was just people everywhere. Don't forget, I'm Australian, and so we have very little people there, right? So it's I'm not used to everybody everywhere and being so busy. So it took a little bit of
Oh,
adjustment to get to that. So it can feel very chaotic. Just what are
mm,
they like
mm.
a squirrel?
Yeah, for many people who used to live in Guangzhou, they might not used to the pace in Shenzhen because Shenzhen is really fast and people will go there for just making money and then make their life bad. Yeah. So okay. So for
No, no, no.
Jessica,
Yeah, sorry, say again. Yeah.
ah, okay. I when Jessica just moved to Shenzhen because she found a better job, and but she also said that the Shenzhen's pace is really faster than in Guangzhou.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It is. It feels that way. It feels a lot. But I mean, still good, dynamic. I do love it. You know, it means it can be exciting too. But gee, it takes a little bit to calm the nervous system down. I think just to spend that's the time when you can use meditation or just okay, try not to be overwhelmed by all the busyness, which is
Yeah,
it takes me a little bit for that.
we can like have when we are more like relaxed, we can schedule for
Yeah.
the
When you come
relaxer.
Shanghai, we can do the relaxing stuff. No worries, easier, easier.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
better in
yeah.
Australia. When you come to
That's
Australia, a lot more beach time, right? Sit on the beach. This a
that's
lot
good.
better.
So, so how's your like your work right now? It seems it's about the game season, right? So for this around in the future, several months you will be much busy than your like other time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, to be honest, Chinese athletes work really hard. They just never really have a break. So, but particularly now, it always seems like particularly now they really work hard. They're in more of other countries' sports. They usually have an intense time and then they have some downtime. Here, it just seems like it just continues. But right now, we're in the middle of the season, so yes, we've got sort of 4 or 5 months where we usually play like maybe 2 games a week in different cities. So it's um it's very busy. It's really so we travel from wherever we are. Today we've got a game on in Beijing, and then we'll
Mm,
fly back to Shanghai tomorrow, and then we'll have another game on Tuesday against Shandong, and then I think we have a few days, a little gap there. But it's easy. So right now for these 4 months during the season, where we have the competition, it's busy. After that, it'll have a little bit of a downtime where they're still training every day, or
mm.
pretty every day, but it won't be as intense. Building up to the next competition, which will be next year. They really don't have a lot of rest. It's amazing what some athletes do, but I think most people don't realise the sacrifice they have to make to get there. It's very. I mean, everybody does, right? Whatever you want to, if you want to do something well, there's sacrifice in all of it. But Chinese athletes work really hard, so there's no downtime. Is what I'm saying. It's busy, yes, but in a good way. I mean,
Yeah,
they're lucky to be. In some ways, it's a lot of people have to do other jobs that are that are maybe more difficult in some ways. These guys use their bodies to do stuff. But yeah, so that was a long ramble in to say yes, it's busy, but good.
mm, mm. Wow,
I think
yeah.
if you enjoy what you do, it's fine.
Yeah, I think like athletes like did work hard. Like they also practice their body to become more stronger so that they can play the game. I really love the Fierce like game we watched last week. It's the first time I watch it in so closely to watch the game. That's
Yeah,
good.
it's really cool to be able to see people do. Volleyball's not obviously. I've worked in a lot of different sports before. I just think anybody doing something at the very high end of their capabilities, or of performance, is impressive to watch. Whether you're swimming or volleyball or rowing, they're really at the top end of what the body can do. So it is impressive for sure. Volleyball's cool. I said that certainly hasn't been the sport that I've known before. In my past, it wasn't something that I'd played or knew very much about. But yeah, I'm glad you got to come along and see it. It's definitely it can be dynamic, and the girls work really hard. So it's great to see them, diving on the floor, and women's volleyball particularly. Even more, it's
Mm.
more exciting than men's volleyball, I find, because they just get it back and it's attack, and they can have lots of rallies where you're on the edge of your seat. Where, oh, yeah, nearly. You're holding your breath for
Yeah,
a good minute sometimes.
yeah.
Is it? So
Until the ball like fall down.
exactly. I joke that I think I age 10 years every year because it's such a, um, you know, exciting sport where you're on the edge of your seat. I say, that's why I look so old. It's your fault, the girl's fault. Just win quickly. And then that way I won't look so old and be aged so quickly. So it's good. It's really good fun.
Oh, I
Do
I
you like
think you
good sport?
look very
Yeah,
young.
you're a good person. That's all right. 打片子吧，谢谢你。
No,
打片
no,
子
no.
It's
What
very, very
I
nice of you.
mean, yeah. So
What do they do? I see them do this all the time, right?
this
Shit,
is
it's,
she showed like a heart.
right. Thank you. I don't. You can lie, and I'm happy to take the compliment. Thank you very much. It's fine. So, yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's very cool.
So you have
What
like
sports do you like? Do you like
I
sports?
yeah, I love sports, but I don't do it like very intentionally. My
Uh-huh.
my sports in my life would be like walking, easy level, and then I'll go hiking for once a month.
Perfect, perfect. Sounds good. I mean, that's the cool thing about life, right? Somebody could do podcasts and do a bit of hiking. Other people like running. It has the variation. Pick what you like and enjoy a bit of hiking. It's beautiful, right? Get out in nature. I love this too. You can talk a lot easier, right? Which is better. Obviously, your skill of talking, right? Doing a podcast, you're obviously very good at being able to interact with people and talk to people and ask them questions. It's a skill. It's not easy to do. So well done. It's really cool.
I'm so excited and happy to hear your words. Yeah. I think it's really a skill that I am trying to develop and make it better. I think it's really important and help me like to get more connection and closer with others. You know, when I am dating out with some friends, I really um make pay attention to how deep or how well we can communicate with each other. You know, sometimes like some people they would focus on their phone, and I feel so, oh, I don't know how to uh move the conversation forward.
Uh, uh, there's lots of, and the cool thing is now there's so many podcasts and books that you can even learn these things. I know that some people don't find these things natural. But as we say, everyone has their skill, right? I was lucky. I grew up in a family that we were very dynamic, very big, always had people coming and going. So speaking to people was easier. But the people who, for me, but the people who haven't learned that. And as you sort of say, you can learn it by just doing it more. And nowadays, there's all podcasts and books you can learn from. All these little things like looking people in the eye, which is, all the, what do they call it here? EQ, right?
Mm.
EQ. You're very good at this. EQ, is that right? You have good
Yeah,
EQ,
EQ or EI. Yeah, EQ. I think.
like this.
Yeah,
Emotional intelligence.
intelligent. Yeah, yeah, emotional intelligence.
These things are I already pick up you're very good at, but you can learn them even if people when you don't know them. There's always books to be able to sort of say, how to win friends and influence people is one that just came to mind. But there's lots of books and podcasts that you can learn from, how to ask the right questions or intriguing questions to ask or how to look people in the eye, how to shake their hand, all these things that make a difference that are subtle but um, but yeah, they're cool, and you've got it. You're already doing those naturally. As I said, when we met each other, you three already are very dynamic and lovely, and have that already in spades. But it's cool. You're even thinking about it. You're like, how can I get this better? How can I get them off the phone, or how can I engage with them more? I think this is the good part of life too, right? Because people want the connection. They're just sometimes not good at doing it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely agree. Yeah, I really
Mm.
love that, and I also love like in listening to the podcast. I'm wishing that my podcast will go better and better, and then I will interview more and more people, and then we can have the deeper conversation with each other.
You're already doing it, right? You've done 7 already. Right? You're already
Yeah,
on your way. You know.
my goal for 2024 is 10 episodes. So you are my number 7. I will only have 3 new guests, and I will complete my uh original goal of this year.
Well, they say even if you shoot for the stars and you'll land, or shoot for the moon and you'll land on the stars, right? So even if you aim for 10 and you get 9, that's 9 that you wouldn't have got. I believe you can get 10. So don't let me let you off, right? That still means you can do 10, but it's the fact that you put that goal there meant that you actually did 7 already. So it's very cool. You've done a great job, and as I said, you can tell that you're good at it. You have good EQ, and I think podcast will be very big in a few years' time. Millions of people following you, and everybody listening, and it's really it's great. Keep it going.
Great, great, great. Okay, so I'm also curious that how you have come to China for around 6 years, right? I watched your moment and I saw a report that you came and helped the athletes of the competitors team. It's a cute like report on that essay. So how's your your experience for working with the Shanghai Institute, and why they choose to work or come to China?
Actually, I came to China first off. I had a short break in my contracts. Like I was working in different teams, and I had a short break, and I thought, I'll come for a short experience of just 3 to 4 months. So I came across to
Oh,
work, just to have the experience because I had a little time in between other things I was doing. I was like, oh yeah, I think I'm there for 3 or 4 months. This sounds like a little fun. So, and then I did that, and I met some of the coaches actually from the volleyball team, and I'd
oh,
helped some of their athletes because I was at the Institute of Sport, and he said, "Can you just help us for this season, Dan? They had." Can you just stay for a little bit longer? And I said, no, look, I'll help you find somebody else. I need to go home. But he's a very lovely fella. I really like him, and I liked the athletes. And I was, oh, okay, yeah, I stayed for just a little longer. And then at the end of each year, he's like, just one more, Dan, one more. Okay. And then had COVID for 3 years, um, uh, so every year it keeps. One more year, and really, I do. I really enjoy the people. Years ago, I stopped working for things that I decided that I only work with people that I enjoy working with. I didn't need to do anything more for my resume. I just decided, okay, I just want to work with good people. That's the only criteria. And I like my coach and I like the players, and they're very sweet and lovely and grateful, and I like them. So that's really, as soon as I stopped enjoying it, I would leave. But at the moment, I have, they look after me well, and they're nice, and we have good relationships. So I think I'll stay for. I say this year is my last year, but I say that each year. That's it. I'm leaving. So I'm still here.
oh, it's so cute and lovely that you stay for one one more and one more and then one more. It's really cute.
Well, so this is the last time, last one. Oh, yes, Dan. Yes, Dan. Just sign here. Okay, last one. Now it's come too many years, but it's fine. I think it also though it is a lot of work, and I think I'm getting to the stage where I don't want to work all the time. I want to go for hot pot instead and do a little bit more, have a little bit more time. So I think in the next little bit, I will have to push back and say, okay, that's enough. I'll help for a little bits of time, but not the whole time, all the time. So we'll see.
Stay
Who
longer.
knows? Yeah,
We'll
you sound like my coach right
missing
now.
you. Yeah.
Has he been speaking to you? Oh, I see. He's been talking to you. Oh, this is a cover operation, right? He's just have a podcast and convince him to stay longer. But anyway, we'll see. So right now
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it, and the players are good, and we have a good goal to try to win the championship. So right now I'm happy, and if things change in the future, I'll worry about them then and make a decision then. So
That's really exciting.
yeah, no, it's good. And yeah, it's good, and get to meet good people like yourself. So as long as things are going well this way, I'll continue. So it's
Yeah, I think it's really important to find like the enjoyable at working atmosphere, and also your calling or your co-workers is nice. If like you have to live in a bad environment, that I think the work can suck.
exactly. Yeah, you have to enjoy it. Yeah, yeah. Bad environment. I think they say you should only be doing work for two. You have to either be learning something or making
Mm,
money, or enjoying it. So if those three things, or at least one of those things, aren't part of your job, quit. So if you're not making some money for the future, or you're learning something for your future, or you're enjoying. Um, Actually, funnily enough, that's the same objectives we often have with sport. Did you learn something? Did you learn something? Did you try your hardest? And did you have fun? That's often outcome measures of the sporting environment. So I think it works the same with work. Are you having fun? Are you making some money? Are you learning something? If you're not doing that, cross it off, change. So, um, at the moment, I'm having fun. so,
That's great. Great to hear
uh,
that. Yeah,
uh,
I am like I changed my job. I am right now. I'm looking for new jobs. So I will. I'm just looking. Not find an ideal one yet.
But yeah, so great. You've got the opportunity to be able to look everywhere, right? This is also a nice space to be in. Where you can have the time to be creative and do podcasts.
Mm.
And actually
Yeah.
look for what's going to work. You don't need to if you don't need to rush it. It's a good place to be able to be like, okay, what's going to be right. I think that's a really good space to be in. And doing podcasts, you can do it anywhere in Australia. You can do podcasts anywhere.
Oh,
Just
I'm looking
saying.
forward to visit Australia as well. So how often do you come back to Australia for recent years?
I usually get back after the season. So right now I will obviously we'll have the season. This season will go till March, I believe. So
Mm.
I usually go back there, go see my family, like my parents and brothers and sisters and my dog. So I'll go back then just for a catch up. So usually get to go a few times a year, a little bit. Try to go back. As much as I can. So as much as I can. As I said, it's not as regularly as I would like, to be honest, because
Mm.
as we said, China athletes work very hard, so they expect that I should be with them all the time too. So, but I'm lucky I get a bit more freedom than some of
Mm.
the athletes who get to go. So, I go back a little, not enough. Um, the beach time. Next time we go back, you guys are coming, right? That's the plan. Beach time.
Wow,
That's good.
exciting. Yeah.
You haven't been
Oh,
yet, have you? What are
mm.
we going to do in Australia? What do you want to do there?
Next.
Fight some kangaroos?
Not sure yet. I just let the dynamic flow and I see. Oh no, don't have don't have an exact goal
No
right now.
expectation. Okay,
Yeah.
leave. I'll be in charge then. I'll be the tour guide. Beach, kangaroos, koalas, surfing, more beach.
That's cool. I'm looking forward to that. I haven't traveled abroad yet.
Okay. I mean, maybe that could be the job. Travel, travel. What do they call it? Like a travel blogger, somebody who travels and then puts it on online, does podcasts all around the world.
Oh, yeah. Travel vlogger. That's good. That I have and I have a freelancer friend. She's also the Chinese tutorial, and she lives in Thailand right now. And it's a really fantastic lifestyle, I think. Yeah,
Sounds pretty good.
the
Yeah.
benefits of a freelancer is so attractive.
Mm. Yeah, man. It's just, and there are those jobs around. I think you just have to be creative with them to find.
Mm,
Even how I've worked, I always looked for adventure with my work. I always want to do some different things.
mm,
And as I said, go to China or work in Europe. So I always found jobs that were interesting. And they're there. You just have to be creative enough and be adventurous enough to go and search them out. So as I say, blogging in Thailand. See if they need a physio and a performance coach. Will you? Like I can do that too. It's Thailand sounds pretty good. Freelance there.
that's cool. My dream job. Yeah,
There you go. Put
I
it on the
believe
vision
I will
board.
make it one day. One
Damn
day in the
right. Put it on the
future.
vision board next year.
Oh, love your idea. Great. Okay, I will put it in my vision board. Okay. Thank you, dear, for
No
your
worries.
joining. Yeah, I am we will might share with you our vision boards or our next date.
Good. Yeah, put me in a group. I want to see the vision board. It'll probably inspire me to redo mine. I haven't done mine for a
We have
long
that
time.
group, you know. We have
Yeah,
that 4 people group,
yeah.
right?
Vision board. I'm going to revisit mine for a bit. So I used to do them every year. Same thing. I'd set very clear goals and then revise them and do an analysis of them. So every year I would do this consistently. But the last few years I haven't been as diligent with them. I've dropped them off and been more about creating habits of a good healthy life, but not so much the future vision. So let's we can inspire each other. I like it. And you
Oh,
can give
that's
me a butt
good.
kick as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm gonna
We can
refocus.
share in the group. If you're welcome to share your your feelings or emotions or recent status in our group as well.
Sounds good. Just crying each
Also,
day.
yeah, and also maybe your new episode, right?
My new witch again.
Your new episode, your podcast.
New episode exactly. Oh, this episode.
Yeah, I will share
Absolutely
once I complete the editing. Although
perfect.
I will not make much editing.
Yeah, I mean, a bit
Don't
of
overlook on
photoshopping,
it.
please. So I want some Photoshop in. I want bigger muscles, more handsome. I know in China you can do all the PS they call it, right? PS me up. They're
It's
like,
so
can't even
difficult to
recognize
me,
it.
you know. I will only you have like strong enough,
I want more strong,
strong
more
enough.
handsome. So I expect to edit in. I look like Brad Pitt, after. So,
That's great. That's
mm,
great.
no,
I think we can have another episode when in the future.
sounds great. It's wonderful talking to you, Lavender. Keep
Yeah,
doing awesome things. It's really cool.
of course I will do it.
I,
Thank you
I
for
see you in
your
Shanghai next week.
attending. Oh,
Just drop that in there.
yeah, we can keep like the online chatting. Yeah. Hey, how about we take a picture now? Wait, 1, 2, 3.